Today on Hearts of Heroes,
Ow, my legs!
a young boy's quick thinking will astonish you
I just want to jump in and get them out, but it was like really scary.
as three young adventurers are caught in a flash flood.
It was a raging river that normally a 4-foot wide creek.
We have to just hold on and wait for someone to come and help us.
We needed to do something and do it fast.
And later, a car flips into an irrigation ditch, trapping an elderly woman in the frigid current.
I just kept seeing the water rise. I was praying the whole time.
I was afraid that whoever was in there was not going to be alive.
These are true unexpected heroes demonstrating unwavering dedication and bravery.
Who doesn't remember the freedom of summer break? Kids get to put away their books, play outside, and explore. But sometimes even the most harmless activities can take a terrifying turn.
When three young teens were playing in a creek bed and suddenly got caught in a flash flood, they would need to depend on their quick-thinking friend and a team of swift water rescuers.
Raleigh, the capital of North Carolina, is the second most populous city in the state and can experience extreme and dangerous flash flooding, especially when a tropical storm's around.
Water is a very powerful force, and a lot of times we underestimate its power. It looks like it's going to be okay, next thing you know, you find yourself in trouble.
Water is very strong, and it actually scares me more than fire.
Thankfully, Raleigh is equipped with a highly skilled swift water rescue team.
Typically, to become a technical rescue member, you go through about 180 hours of initial training. That gets you up to your swift water training, which is another 64 hours on top of that. You've got to be able to train exactly how you're going to be in those environments.
Now, as you'd expect, if you're a bunch of friends playing in the neighborhood, a tropical storm and flash flooding, not always top of mind. 12-year-old Gavin lives in suburban Raleigh.
We have a really good neighborhood. We play a bunch of games. Like we usually play like football in my yard and a bunch of sports and like tag and stuff, so it's really good.
One August afternoon, Gavin and his friends went out to ride bikes and explore the wooded area just beyond their neighborhood.
We just thought it was a good day to like go exploring.
Along for the adventure were siblings Andrew and Evelyn and sisters Emma and Kelly.
We were going on a bike ride down a trail, and we were exploring there and trying to find new things to do.
But danger was about to sweep in.
That day, Tropical Storm Debbie was moving through our area. Conditions were overcast, windy, with heavy rainfall.
We knew that we were in store for some heavy rain and possible flooding.
The group came across a small creek.
So me and my other neighbor, Emma, me and her just crossed. It was like no rushing water.
We crossed the creek and we get to the other side, and then my sister and my two other neighbors, they got stuck.
A sudden flash flood overtook the creek, trapping Kelly, Andrew, and Evelyn in an instant.
It looks fine one second, and then the next second it's just like there's so much water coming down, and it really happens out of nowhere. They were like yelling and they're like, we're stuck, we're stuck.
1 minute it was calm, and then the next minute we were stuck in a river.
The kids tried to support themselves using overhanging branches, but the rocks were just too slippery.
We thought we could cross it. I felt really scared because Andrew grabbed onto like a leaf, but he thought it was like a branch, so then he slipped, and then I fell, and then Evelyn fell on top of me, so we came like crashing down.
Kelly and Andrew managed to grab onto a hanging branch, but Evelyn was out of reach. She was about to be swept away.
When I was about to slip down, he grabbed onto my wrist. That's how I got up, and then we started holding on.
I'm really thinking that I don't know what to do. I hope everything will be okay.
On the bank of the creek, Emma and Gavin watched helplessly.
I was freaking out, they were freaking out.
I just wanted to like jump in and get them out, but it was like really scary.
Young Gavin kept his cool and knew the best thing to do was to get trained professionals there as quickly as possible. He found his phone and immediately called 911.
I said that my neighbors slipped and fell in the middle of a flash flood. We need help.
Now all they could do was hope that help would get there in time.
It was really scary. Like, everyone was like crying. It was like a really scary thing.
Coming up,
Ow, my leg!
We needed to do something and do it fast because she's getting ready to get washed downstream.
But first, a tip in case you ever find yourself in any type of crisis.
Emergencies can be stressful, but staying calm and knowing what to say to a 911 operator can make all the difference. Keeping your cool and providing clear information might just save your life and the lives of those you love.
Be prepared to relay these key pieces of information when you call 911. First, what is the nature of your emergency? Second, where are you located? And if you don't have an exact location, describe a landmark. And finally, let us know if anyone is injured, and if so, describe their condition.
Remember, information matters. Staying calm truly can make all the difference.
On a warm summer afternoon, a group of neighborhood friends were playing in their nearby woods when 3 of them were trapped in a flash flood. With the raging water threatening to sweep them away, they hung onto a low-hanging limb.
We put our hands up because we knew there was a branch up there. So we felt the branch and we grabbed on.
On the banks of the creek, 12-year-old Gavin instinctively reacted.
He took out his phone and he called 911 and he told the operators, this is where we are, you need to come quick.
Besides the powerful water, the 3 kids were also being pummeled by floating debris.
We could just feel like branches and pine cones just hitting our ankles and feet. And it hurt badly.
Andrew tried to reassure his sister and their young friend.
I was telling them that we have to just hold on and wait for someone to come and help us.
The call came in as people stuck in floodwater, and it wasn't until we were en route that I had heard that there were children trapped. It definitely elevates the urgency of the call.
The Raleigh Fire Department's swiftwater rescue team arrived, and even they were shocked by the power of the flood.
It wasn't even like being in the city of Raleigh, just the force of the water and the size of the creek back there. It was like being in a mountain river environment.
The first responders quickly formulated a plan and began setting up rigging for a swift water rescue. But young Kelly was struggling to hold on.
I was starting to lose my balance, and then like people were telling me to hold on, they're gonna come.
The initial thought was we're just gonna go in and get them, and then you look at the water and you realize how quick it was moving.
Oh gosh, she doesn't have much longer to hold on.
You could just see the panic in her face, and we needed to do something and do it fast because she's getting ready to get washed downstream.
With no time to lose, they rigged a complex rope system attached to a rescue raft.
Lieutenant Hauser and Jen were the first swimmers that got down there that were fully dressed in their water rescue gear. So we put them in the boat and launched it.
But before they could get to the frightened kids, the boat hit a rock and bottomed out.
I hopped out of the boat because we weren't going to be able to get the boat any closer to the children.
He started wading through this water that was moving fast, and you could see it, how it was impacting him and his ability to walk in the water.
So I got down on my hands and knees and made my way over to where the tree was.
Lieutenant Hauser knew he had to save Kelly first.
She was at the point where she was ready to let go. She was losing grip strength. Her feet came out from underneath her and were actually going downstream.
Right as she let go, the people grabbed her.
And we got to her just in time.
When I got to the first child, she just jumped onto me. So I just shimmied my way back to the boat, dropped her with Jen, and then just went back.
They put her in the boat, and then they came to grab me.
The way he grabbed us, he was like crawling over to us. He told me to wrap my legs around him. I was so scared.
Soon, they were safely on solid ground with their families.
I started crying, but like it was tears of joy because I was so happy.
I felt really emotional. I sprinted to my parents and I was really excited to see them.
They were completely innocent young kids that were just having a good old day and got caught into basically a raging river.
These types of extremely specialized rescues don't just happen by chance. They require hours of intense training.
Steve, what is this facility used for?
We have a tank here that's 40 foot wide, 80 foot long, 144,000 gallons of water in it, 10 jets across the front, can run at 70 miles an hour of current on the top.
The elite members of the Raleigh Fire Department gave Sheldon Yellen, of our sponsor, Belfour Property Restoration, a first-hand look at their intense training.
Here in this training facility, I've learned and realized how important it is to set this rescue up for success. The rigging, the process, the preparation, the coordination, everything has to be spot on and precise. You cannot rush a rescue.
All the way from how we tie our knots to how the knots build into bigger systems, how the systems affect the rescue, it all comes together and allows us to efficiently affect that rescue. It all starts with the details.
When I went in that boat and you asked me to get out of that boat, go make that rescue, I can tell you for certain, this is not an easy thing to do. The power of that current, and I was swept away in a moment. The training that goes into this, the knowledge, discipline, communication, and the ability to stay focused, all of that's got to come together for a successful rescue.
Yes, sir.
And the reaction that you had to grab hold of me, that was a natural reaction for you.
Yes, sir. We have to look out for each other. There's no rescue coming for us. We have to protect our own. When I saw you, I knew I had to get you and get you back in the boat. We work hard 365 days a year just to be ready for those times when we're called to help people like that.
Luckily for these boys and girls, there were trained heroes on the ready when they found themselves in danger.
This was a win for everybody. This is something that could have easily gone the other way.
It's gratifying to be a part of a team and to actually use the training that you've had and effect a rescue like this. It's incredible.
Of course, there was one other hero who had no training, but the instinct to immediately call 911.
He initiated a whole chain of events of getting us there, so he was part of the instigation of that chain.
I'm really grateful that they said that. Now I can finally say, like, I am a hero.
Coming up, as a river rises quickly, rescuers only have minutes to save an elderly woman trapped inside her car.
I was praying the whole time, please somebody see me and help.
Getting into a car accident is a frightening experience for anyone. But imagine finding yourself upside down in a flowing irrigation ditch with your car quickly filling up with water.
When this happened to a woman in Indiana, the clock was ticking and first responders had to think quick and act fast in an attempt to save her life.
Hamilton County lies in the heart of Indiana, where serene landscapes meet vibrant cities.
The county is interesting. We are very urban on the southern half of it. We're a suburb of Indianapolis. And the northern half is very rural, mostly farmers and a lot of open area and fields.
With its vast open spaces, Indiana has a dedicated branch of law enforcement under the Department of Natural Resources. Conservation officers in the state have a wide range of responsibilities.
A lot of water-related rescues, accidents resulting in recreational activities.
In April 2024, this area just north of Indianapolis was at least 3 inches above average for rainfall for the month.
We had had a whole lot of rain during that time frame, and so the water was up in all of the creeks and areas.
On April 30th, Alice Inman, who goes by Corky, took a drive to visit a friend.
I was heading towards Elwood to take a friend of mine to go out and eat, and I was headed down County Line Road.
Corky lost control of her car, swerved off the road, and plunged into a ravine.
In the blink of an eye, the woman was upside down in a ditch with her car rapidly filling with water. Fearing she might drown, Corky made a life-saving decision.
I just kept seeing the water rise, and I wanted to get someplace where I could get my head up out of it. I remember reaching down and releasing the seatbelt and looked for a little pocket of air in the back.
As she kept her head above the frigid water, Corky hoped someone would see her.
I was in the car for probably an hour, and I heard cars go by, but no one stopped.
When she didn't show up at her friend's house, Corky's friend called the police.
Even though it's a flat area, this ditch is just deep enough that her car was totally out of view from most cars driving down the road.
I was praying the whole time, I was thinking, please, somebody see me and help.
Then suddenly, a driver in a truck saw the wreck and ran towards Corky.
He stopped and got out of the truck yelling, "Is there anybody in there alive?" And I couldn't talk.
Coming up.
It did not look good when we got there. I was afraid that whoever was in there was not going to be alive.
But first, a tip to keep you roadside ready in case you come across a breakdown or an emergency.
Just like any machine, cars can break down, often when you least expect it. And getting stranded in a hurricane or storm can make a bad situation even worse. That's why it's essential to be prepared. A roadside safety kit, just like this one, can make all the difference when you're facing unpredictable weather.
These kits often include items like reflector vests, emergency flares, and high visibility cones to help you stand out in stormy conditions. These tools don't just make sure you're seen by other drivers, they also help emergency services locate you faster.
So whether it's a flat tire or a storm-swept detour, make sure you're ready. When you're stranded, staying visible is the first step to staying safe.
Corky Inman's car had flipped into an irrigation ditch and was rapidly filling with water. Unable to escape, she was confined to a small air pocket. After more than an hour in the freezing water, a truck driver pulled over to investigate.
I started banging on the sides of the car, and he finally heard me, and that's basically the last thing that I remember.
The trucker called 911 and waited for help to arrive.
It definitely gets the heart pumping and the adrenaline flowing. You feel like seconds count with a call like that.
Conservation Officer Billy Doss also heard the dispatch.
I was afraid that whoever was in there was not going to be alive.
Hang on.
Just trying to stay out of the firefighters' way.
All right, let's try this a little bit more.
They were tying off ropes and putting on life jackets. I was afraid this was going to be more of a recovery.
We can roll it up. We can get the window and get him out. Here. They're back up.
They needed to find a way to get the car out of the water far enough to break out the window.
My lieutenant saw a winch on one of the fire vehicles.
We're going to try to move the car a little bit. But don't let it in case it rolls back.
We winched it up to a point where you can make access to the actual side windows of the vehicle.
These first responders knew they were running out of time. They would have to find a way to break out the window.
Hang on right there.
I grabbed a Halligan. It's a tool for breaking windows.
We couldn't get enough force from a swing to actually break a window.
Trying to break a window underwater is pretty tough. You can't swing as fast.
Stand back from the window. Stay back. We're going to break the window.
She was still in that front of the vehicle, and so after they broke out that rear side window, she was able to then make her way over to that window to get to the first responders.
We didn't know how many people were in there.
Is it just you, ma'am? Just one.
He says, "We've got you. We're gonna get you out without dunking your head underwater."
You're not going underwater, okay?
We basically floated her out on her back, and we pulled her out of the window.
Okay, there you go. Hey. Nice to see you. All right, can you get your feet under you? After we get out of there, you might sink a little bit. You're sure there's nobody else in there, right? No, there's just you? Okay.
Rescuers carried Corky up to the road and into an awaiting ambulance. She did break her back, but today she is so grateful to be alive.
I was surrounded by the best. They knew what they were doing. They were very kind to me.
After the incident, the deputies and I were all in the same mind frame that we can't believe she survived that.
It was definitely a miracle that I survived that.
It's nice to have a positive outcome. It makes you feel good. These are the stories I think need shared more.
They were my angels. I'm so grateful for saving my life that day. I felt like they were part of my family now.
accidents don't always happen on dry land, which is why first responders spend countless hours training for all kinds of specialized rescues.
It's that training and dedication that keeps these heroes armed and ready for any situation that may come their way. We'll see you next time on Hearts of Heroes. Thanks for watching.